Hi, my name is Colbert and let's start with Mad Max. This is without a doubt one of the best open world games on Steam. 91% of positive reviews are there for a reason. You will play as a lone warrior in a savage post-apocalyptic world where cars are the most important thing, the very key to survival. So in Mad Max you will have the same mindset as my neighbor Ginteres, who fixes his car every day, polishes paint and spends more time with it than with his own wife. But the balance in nature is always around the corner. My other neighbor Darius has no car, so he spends time with Ginteres' wife. Everyone is happy. Anyway, in Mad Max you will find an action-packed open world where you must fight against vicious gangs of bandits to stay alive in the wasteland. You want nothing more than to leave the madness behind and find solace in the mythical Plains of Silence. Along the way in your search you are challenged with a treacherous missions as you scavenge the dangerous landscape for supplies to build the ultimate combat vehicle of your dreams. Price is great. If you have spare money, just grab it without any regrets. Inside. Guys who created Limbo later created this masterpiece, and I'm not exaggerating, the game has overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam for a reason. People are talking that Inside is one of the most atmospheric games they have ever played, and that is a big statement for a game that is actually just a platformer. Inside has beautiful graphics, great controls and interesting puzzles to solve that will keep you pinned to your chair for about 4 hours, because this game is really short but worth every cent, and this price is more than right. People on Steam are talking that every scene here is just like wallpaper, and every time you think that you understand something, game will make it even weirder. For full immersion, play with your headphones. Divinity Original Sin 2. Made by the same studio as Baldur's Gate 3, this is one of the best RPG games ever created. Overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam can confirm that with ease, and people in the comments section are openly saying that this may be the best game they have ever played in general. But you know, you shouldn't trust people that easily. Once my friend said that potato salad with pineapple in it is the best salad. I deleted that friend from my life, but the view of horror is still hard-locked in my brain. Also keep in mind that this is a serious game for adults. It has dark and gloomy world and sexual content, but don't worry, it will keep your virginity as strong as ever. Original Sin 2 will take about 200 hours of your boring life, and that is really amazing because every minute of it is really entertaining. Mountain Blade Warband. It is time to assemble your own band of hardened warriors, lead your men into battle, expand your realm and claim the ultimate prize, the Throne of Calradia. But what if you don't care about Calradia, you may ask? What if Calradia is not the most important thing to you? Well, I know that most of us cannot live without Calradia, like we cannot live without Latvian beer. But let's imagine that you want to play in realistic historical period instead. What then? Don't worry, there is probably a mod for that. The game is 12 years old, so the community is teeming with various upgrades, tweaks, maps, scenarios and hundreds of various mods. Game has an insane 97% of positive reviews on Steam, and most of the reviewers have at least 100 or more hours of playtime accumulated, so be sure that you have a lot of free time before diving in. BMP, Bullets Per Minute. This is a wet dream of every Doom or other fast-paced first-person shooter fan. 93% of positive reviews on Steam won't let me lie, this game will entertain you for hours. To be exact, for about 4 hours. It's not a very long game. But as you always say to your girlfriend, it's not the length, it's the quality, right? So here, all of your actions and the actions of your enemies are tied to the beat of music. Your enemies perform a dance-like sequence of attacks to an epic rock opera. Here, as expected, you will shoot, jump and dodge to the beat while battling hordes of enemies, fight powerful bosses, choose from 10 different characters with unique strengths and weaknesses, and explore randomly generated dungeons. So play this game if you like Doom, rock and fast-paced action, and avoid it if you are soft and squishy. It's not a game for squishy people. Generation Zero. The game was really hyped up on the release, and when people didn't get a masterpiece, bad reviews started to flow. That is a story of many games, and Generation Zero definitely doesn't deserve that, because it may not be a masterpiece, but it's not a bad game as well. You'll explore alternative Sweden in 1989. One day Swedes woke up early in the morning to milk their deer herd, because that's what they do in Sweden, and then instead of beloved deers, they saw evil robots everywhere. Probably an evil doing of wicked Norwegian regions or mischievous fins. Anyway, this post-apocalypse is in the making and you are a part of it. Alone or up to 3 friends, you will have to sneak, scavenge and shoot your way to safety across a vast landscape filled with threat. Only 73% of reviews are positive, so this, as I've said, is not a masterpiece in any way, but the current price may be the deciding factor here after all. Wingspan. Let me start with the fact that this game has overwhelmingly positive review score on Steam. Yeah, so you don't skip thinking that this is some lame card game. Well, it's a card game, but as far from lame as you are from... you know, from lame. Yeah, you are cool, man, never doubt that. Now subscribe. So here you are, a bird enthusiast, researcher, bird watcher, ornithologist and collector seeking to discover and attract the best birds to your network of wildlife preserves. Each bird extends a chain of powerful combinations in one of your habitats. Each habitat focuses on key aspect of the growth of your preserves and, you know, and so on. This game is meant to be played from 1 to 5 people, so if you have some nerdy friends, tell them something nice and convince them to play this game together. If not, there is always a mother-in-law who can help. If not yours, then somebody else's. World is filled with them. Jurassic World Evolution 2. You can build your very own Jurassic Park just like in the first part, but a bit more beautiful and a bit better. You know, that number at the end of the game's name has to mean something. So at first it's all about fun, interesting creatures and happy customers until some brown substance from the bottom of Stegosaurus hits the fan. And by that I mean that life finds a way, and by life I mean death. You know, few raptors can escape the cage and start feeding on your customers, and only you can decide if you want to tranquilize them or leave them to raptors as they are. As I always say, if you ever worked at retail, and I did before becoming a writer of all sorts, I know that you hate your customers anyway. They are always unhappy with everything. Let them complain for real this time.
Oh, I'm being eaten by a Tyrannosaurus.
Oh yes, yes you are. We are terribly sorry. Maid of Sker. Set in 1898 and based on a haunting story of Elizabeth Williams, it is a tale about a young woman imprisoned by her father to stop her from marrying the man she loves. So you have to save her. Gameplay is focused on story, exploration and no weapon survival tactics. Ah, those are the most scary ones. A 3D sound-based AI system is the core survival gameplay mechanic. Hide, run, creep, trap and distract are some of the techniques you need to master to survive enemies with super hearing. As you progress, enemies become more difficult to avoid, to the point where standing still and holding your breath is the only option. Bright Memory Infinite. When I first saw the trailer of this game about 2 years ago, the only thing I have is really bright memories because this game looks very good. This shooter was created by one independent artist, yes, by one man, and I also dare to say that this definitely looks like a AAA kind of game. That dude is a real beast. Bright Memory is a combination of science fiction and fantasy elements in a world where you encounter various beasts, such as dragons, and wander through the intriguing locations killing numerous monsters. Unlike many other games of this type, the production offers a rich selection of not only firearms but also melee weapons. You also have a special gauntlet which allows you telekinetic manipulation of enemies. The whole title is quite similar to the Bulletstorm and it also bears a resemblance to Shadow Warrior franchise. And now the question of the ages. Have you checked the GOG Gaming Sale already? Hundreds of different games are discounted right now. All you need to do is to click my link in the description and explore. Refunds are supported for up to 30 days. Thank you for watching, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.